so they elevated the railroad. But anyway, they stopped using it in the 50s.
Important.
Yeah, exactly. Kevin looking like a mess with my shoes untied. Good morning from New York City. I'm standing in front of this crazy building called Vessel. I'm actually going to be taking it out. Hi, I'm Lexie, and 2 years ago I broke the Guinness World Record for the youngest person to travel to every country in the world. By 21 years old, I traveled to 197 countries.
Do you fumble over your words when you do it, or is it usually fine?
Sometimes, but you know, I've been doing it for a couple of years now, so I can usually make it work, but with these kind of things I love to have a few different takes of it, just in case they're like, oh, I wish you would have said this differently or something, so. Like the most easily tangled hair ever. I originally came up with the idea to travel to every country right around when I turned 18 years old. I had traveled a lot with my family growing up because my mom started a travel agency, and through all of those experiences I had with my family, I ended up traveling to around 70 countries by the time I turned 18. And I had simultaneously been saving up a lot to take a gap year away from school. Only about 2 months into that gap year, I came up with this crazy idea to travel to every country. I had been getting a lot of questions about, what I was going to do next, especially since I had just gotten out of school, and the only answer I knew was that I wanted to challenge myself. So I saw this world record as a challenge, but it ended up turning into something that would inspire some other people to also get out of their comfort zone as well.
I like
Where are you from?
Italy.
You're going back to Italy today?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Really need to make a
Yeah, of course.
Where do you want to stop?
There are so many kind people in the world. I think that the media paints a very scary picture of the world, and being able to travel to so many countries that you hear about on the news, like Afghanistan or Somalia, and being able to actually have real conversations with people who are there, and realizing that at the end of the day we all want the same things, having love, good food, a roof over our heads. That's basically what all human beings want, and you can always find something to relate to.
Seatbelt or depart the aircraft until told to do so by your pilot. Your pilot or the
Lexie, how are you feeling?
Pretty anxious. I just like heights, so I don't know exactly what I'm doing here, but I hope it'll be worth it. But I'm happy to have you here.
Newbies together.
There you go.
Got these guys over here keep me company.
Everybody's the hardest. You guys can follow me to the hardest route. This is the quick release method. You'll also be given a flotation device, seatbelt, and a headset so you communicate with your pilots.
Over the course of traveling to every country, I absolutely fell in love with telling stories and making videos. So I'm now running a full YouTube channel myself about travel, telling stories from around the world, and I am actually just about to finish my book, which I have been working on for over 3 years now, and the book is all about my crazy experiences traveling to every country and everything that I learned along the way. When you're in a routine, you're constantly doing the same thing every day, and it makes all of your days start to blend together. But when you're traveling, it's almost like these different parts of your brain are all of a sudden turned on, and you're noticing every aspect of life in such a different way than when you're just doing the same things. So for me, I feel like traveling really has been able to make it feel like I've lived 3 lifetimes in just the 23 years that I've been alive.
Lay on the ground.
Another one of New York City's 5 boroughs. Ellis Island processed over 14 million immigrants coming into the United States.
One of my biggest pieces of advice for people who are wanting to get out in the world and travel is to take a trip by yourself. It sounds very scary, and I know that solo travel intimidates a lot of people, but I truly believe that every person should do it at some point in their lives, because it really makes such a difference in your self-esteem, your confidence, and being able to be independent and to navigate the world completely on your own. It teaches you lessons that you can actually bring back home with you after you get back from your trip. Oh, what is life going to be like in 5 years?
5 years.
It feels like so long from now, but honestly, I'm sure it's going to come very soon.
You've done a lot in those 3 years.
Yeah, I can't imagine what another 5 is going to be like. But if everything goes according to plan, I want to continue to build a community around traveling, to teach as many people as much as possible about getting out of their comfort zone and give them the tools that they need to be able to travel the world successfully, regardless of where they're from or what their budget is. And I am also just very excited to continue telling stories on YouTube. That is something I'm so passionate about, and I know that it's going to be a lifetime's work for me, but I'm really excited to see where it's going to go, but one day at a time.
Yeah, do you want to stand like right here? Yeah. This is Washington Square Park, right?
Correct.
Okay. Sure enough. That up, and I'm ending my day here at Washington Square Park, which has been so beautiful to walk around in. When it comes to addressing any kind of harassment, especially in the evenings when you're walking down the street by yourself, is sitting, running out of time.
For me personally, creating travel content, one of my main goals has been to not only showcase the beautiful, amazing moments, but to also capture when things aren't going well. It's very difficult to turn on the camera when you're in a stressful situation or you're upset, but I think it's important to share that balance so that people know that it's not always beautiful views and sunsets and magical moments. There's actually a lot of stress and pressure like there is with any other type of career.
YouTube video. Playboy magazine, Playboy. I wish.
I'm sorry, I'm working. Thank you. I'm
YouTube. Yeah. That was perfect. Unwanted attention.
Yeah, so
That's good.
unwanted attention. As I was saying,
I would say that another one of the biggest takeaways I've had from doing so much travel, especially in countries that couldn't be more different than the one that I grew up in, is it almost feeds this deep sense of empathy and compassion for other human beings, because regardless of their socioeconomic status, where they're from, their health conditions, anything like this, you can see that they're still people that are the same as you. And I think that that's one of the, traveling is one of the best catalysts for eradicating any type of discrimination, racism, classism, anything like this, because once you actually meet anyone else other than the people that are on the same level or from the same place as you, you can immediately feel like you have a lot more in common with them than you might have thought if you have never met anyone from anywhere else before. Yeah, it definitely opens your eyes and your mind to other ways of life, and it's very difficult to discriminate against people who are standing right in front of you when you're actually putting in the time and effort to understand their perspective and having real conversations that are open and trying not to be judgmental and just listening. And some of the most confronting experiences I've had traveling with different tribes and different religions, and actually just being able to ask questions and hear their responses one-on-one is a really great way to break down stereotypes that we develop about people on the other side of the world who we've never actually met. So going and meeting people for yourself and then making a decision about them or your feelings towards this type of interaction is so much more genuine than just listening to what you hear about on the news.